Hey lunatics, it's Lady Luna. I am back. It's been so long since I've made a video, and I just wanted to make this video today to catch up with you guys on where I've been and also tell you about a very amazing spiritual journey that I've been on basically for the whole time that I haven't been making videos. So, first of all, I'm going to explain where I've been and just the things going on in my life, and then I'm going to explain the enlightenment portion, as you'll see in the title of this video. If you'd like to know about my enlightenment journey, I will try and put a timestamp in the video so you can skip forward to that. But if you were wondering where I've been and what's been going on in my life, then feel free to stick around for that part first. So, I am sorry for how long I've been away. But a lot of you may know if you follow my Instagram, which I'll put a link to below. If you don't already follow me, you should. I had a baby. So my husband and I welcomed our first child, and it's a little boy, and he's so, so cute. And you know, a newborn baby takes up a lot of your time and a lot of your energy and a lot of your sleep. So that's part of the reason that I haven't made videos again up until now. And also, I've also had some health problems going on. I had to have my gallbladder taken out recently, which was crazy. It was my first time I ever remember going in the ER. And because, you know, sometimes your parents may take you when you're a kid or something like that, but I've never gone to the ER at a time in my life when I can remember. So it felt like my first time ever being admitted to the hospital for myself. And then it was my first invasive surgery, and it was a lot of firsts, but I got through it, and gallbladder surgery is relatively quick as far as recovery time. And so things have been going really well as far as the healing process, and I'm doing really well with that, and I feel so much better. For those of you who don't know, gallstones can be so, so extremely painful. In my opinion, they are more painful than childbirth. So, a lot has changed in my life. On a sadder note, I let you guys know when my mom passed away last year, and unfortunately, my dad has also passed away now. He had a terminal illness that he'd had for a few years, and it caught up with him. And so, unfortunately, now both my parents are no longer with us. But this is something we knew was going to happen way ahead of time, and we prepared for it, and we made sure that my husband and I had a lot of time with my dad and got to make some cherished memories, and so we don't regret that at all, and we are doing really well since then. So, we also have moved into our first house, which is new. That should give us a little more wiggle room when it comes to making videos. If you guys don't know, my husband also has a YouTube channel. And so now he and I have a home office where we can just create things. We both have our own computer in the office, and my husband's gaming channel, I'll be sure to link it below. He does Skyrim modding, so if you like that, be sure to check that out. And in the future, just for reference, since you know I have a baby now, if you ever hear my baby crying in the background or making little noises, which are really cute noises, by the way, just roll with it. It's something that I don't have a lot of control over some of the time. But as long as everyone's okay with that, I think, you know, I have some videos coming in the future that you will really, really like. So, also, before I move on to the enlightenment portion of this video, I just want to mention that I have started my memberships on my YouTube channel. So, it's kind of like Patreon, but all just still on your YouTube channel. So, with memberships, you pay a few bucks a month and you get extra content from me, and it's a lot of extra content. I'm going to make sure I already have 3 extra content videos up in my memberships by the time you see this video. So there's already content there that you can watch, and it's very long and very podcast-like. So unlike the videos that you see on my channel here, where it's usually scripted out and has a whole bunch of different points to it and is kind of like a video essay, The memberships videos are not scripted and are very much, like I said, like sitting and listening to a podcast. And you can even play it. You don't have to even watch it. You can just leave it while you're cooking or you're working out or whatever it is that you're working on during the day. So, we're going to get into some very personal topics in the memberships. We're going to get into super spiritual, ultra enlightenment stuff on there, very esoteric stuff, stuff that is hard to find anywhere else. So I would highly suggest you check that out if you're interested. So now we're going to talk about my enlightenment journey. This is something that's been going on for quite a while, and I haven't really gotten to share a lot with you guys. In one of my most recent videos that I posted a while back, I was talking about how my beliefs have changed and in regard to spirituality. And they have. A lot of you were surprised when I removed a couple of videos from my channel last year. And also, some of you may notice I took out a few different clips from different videos that I no longer agree with and didn't want in the video anymore. That's because my spiritual views have greatly changed. And this was a process that was literally years in the making, but it took about another year for me to fully understand this shift in my spirituality. And this shift is what led to what I would consider spiritual enlightenment. And I just want to say, enlightenment to me means something very specific, and I'm going to go into more of what that means in my memberships videos, which is another reason to look into it if you are someone who's interested in your own enlightenment. But I just want to point out, enlightenment is not something that it's like, well, I'm enlightened and I know things now and other people don't, and I'm just better than other people now because I'm enlightened. No, 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 no. In fact, enlightenment should not, it should do the opposite of that. It should make you feel more loving toward people, realize that you and other people are just the same. And when it all comes down to it, we're all the same. In a good way. We're all basically the same person with different experiences and different things that have influenced us. So, to start out, enlightenment is not like how Hollywood portrays it. It's not unlocking some big secret or magic code in your brain and gaining superpowers. It's not something that makes you levitate or something that allows you to control the four elements like on Avatar The Last Airbender or anything like that. So enlightenment is about gaining secret and divine knowledge. And in other words, this is also called gnosis. This is called many different things. Enlightenment in other cultures, like in Hinduism, enlightenment is called moksha, or escaping the cycle of reincarnation. And then in Buddhism, it's referred to as nirvana. And it can be called many different things in many different circles of people, but it all means essentially the same thing. So enlightenment is also not a one and done event. So when I went through my experience, my spiritual experience of becoming enlightened, it wasn't like, oh, I just spent one day doing it, I learned a secret, and then now I'm enlightened and I know all the secrets of the universe and I'm good. It doesn't work that way. In fact, I have learned that once you have the first spark of enlightenment occur, it's like you never really stop becoming more enlightened. As your life unfolds and as you get older, you're just going to become more and more enlightened. The more you study and the more you ponder, the more you meditate. And it's something that's very humbling. And it's probably the coolest experience I've ever had in my life. It takes a very long time to reach your initial spark of becoming enlightened, and that continues to unfold really for the rest of your life. So, what is enlightenment exactly? So, to me, enlightenment means realizing the truth about what all of existence really means. And that isn't just something I'm making up. That's something that is at the heart of all world religions, all secret societies, and this concept has been around since the beginning of humanity. It really has. If you look at the beliefs of ancient Sumeria and Mesopotamia, they all kind of have this mystery school, this sort of mysticism that's there, especially among the elites of different cultures and the royalty. They all have some kind of secret mysticism that they keep to themselves because they want the secret knowledge. And I truly believe the elites today do this as well. The elites are more esoteric than we know, but you'll learn more about that in the memberships videos. So when we realize the truth of all existence and what it really means, we're getting answers to the questions like, why are we all here? Why is there something rather than nothing? What happens to our consciousness after we die? Things like that. So how I got on my enlightenment path. It's been many years in the making, like I said, but it started when I finally let go of the black and white thinking that I was raised with. And for me, and this, black and white thinking can come in many forms. It can come in the form of politics. That's a very obvious one. For me, it came in the form of religion. And I have a whole memberships video about that by itself. So if you're interested in my past religion and what that's all about, and my story of letting myself deconstruct from that, I would highly suggest watching that video. And I understand there are people who watch my channel who have also deconstructed from a religion, or possibly even the same one I did. And I hope that my videos can be very much for those people and made toward those people in particular, because it's quite a big shift in your life that changes almost everything. And it puts a person through what I like to call the dark night of the soul. Other people call it a spiritual awakening, but it's all really the same thing, where you start questioning everything in life. You start doubting things you never let yourself doubt before, but you gain so much more knowledge than you ever had, and it can be both depressing and scary, and also super exciting and thrilling and freeing. So it's quite a trip, but it's well worth it. It's well worth questioning things and finding the answers and the actual truth that is out there. So, sorry, this video is unscripted, so if I have pauses and things like that, you know why. I wanted this video to be from the heart, and so I did not script it out. So when I let go of my black and white thinking, that also involved allowing myself to start emotionally healing from the traumas of my past. I got into therapy, and that really helped me. And then I also got into journaling and doing shadow work. So for those who don't know, shadow work is based on Carl Jung's idea of the shadow self, which is the darker side of ourselves and our psyche. And the shadow self is the one that does things that are a bit darker, things that sometimes we don't even know why we do them. And we can all think of like our bad habits, things we shouldn't really do, but we don't know why we do them. It can involve addictions, it can involve the cruel ways we may treat other people. And so the idea of shadow work is allowing ourselves to look at the negative parts of ourselves in an honest way, which can be really scary, by the way. It can be very difficult not to play the blame game and say, well, it's not my fault I did this, it's someone else's fault, it's my parents' fault, it's my friend's fault, whatever. But when we do shadow work, we allow ourselves to look at things objectively in our past and say, okay, this is why I do this. Or a lot of it first is asking the question, why do I react this way when this happens? When this triggers me, why do I react in this negative way? That's why journaling can help so much, because once we start realizing why we do certain things, or how a certain thing in our past caused us to start acting a certain way, we're able to look at our past journal entries and then it can help us further progress in getting more control over our shadow and becoming a more balanced person and an even-tempered person. So anyway, shadow work was a big part of my spiritual journey, and so important. I can't even emphasize that enough. And everybody has a shadow. There's not one perfect person in this world. Everyone has a shadow. So realizing all of this allowed me to stop focusing on my fears in life and instead focused on my biggest questions about the universe and our existence. Before all this, I have anxiety disorder. When I went into therapy for the first time, I was diagnosed at age 33. I had never been diagnosed with anything like that before. And anxiety disorder is an interesting thing to navigate through, but it definitely is possible, I'll tell you that. And if you're willing to work with a therapist and work on yourself, essentially, you can get through it. And I feel as though now I'm in a great place with it and I have gotten through it. It hasn't really affected me now the way it used to. So, once you stop focusing on your fears, you're able to focus on the things that matter. So, because of this, because I started letting go of my fears, especially those that were essentially given to me through religious ideologies, I started allowing myself to read books that I'd previously been afraid to read. And these include things like books about witchcraft or magic or occult things. Because I used to think that those were the devil and those were demons trying to get control of you and it was going to send you to hell and things like that. But when I actually let myself read them, I realized that a lot of Wiccans, witches, other pagan people, they don't even believe in the devil or demons. And something like a tarot deck doesn't even involve contacting a demon or anything like that, which I'd thought before. So I let go of a lot of these myths that I'd been told and stayed away from just out of fear. And letting go of all of that and actually finding out the truth made me feel so free and so much more comfortable just living in the world. There was a lot less to be afraid of. During this time, I also watched a lot of YouTube videos and took online courses and different things that I was interested in that I'd never let myself look at before. I studied all major world religions because they fascinated me. And that's something that I did even when I was religious, but I did it back then. I did it for different reasons because I was trying to essentially be a missionary. I was trying to study other religions so that I could find common ground with them and help them learn more about my religion because I thought mine was the only true religion, you see. So I also studied, along with world religions, I studied psychology, philosophy, ancient human origins, and soon I started piecing all of those things together. On a spiritual journey, you'll notice all of these topics that I mentioned connect to one another in such a beautiful way. It basically tells the human story from a spiritual perspective, and it's amazing. A lot of it just has to do with the human mind, and you'll find that on your journey, I'm sure. So I also got into meditation, and I practiced a form of what I would call lucid meditation, where instead of sitting and clearing your mind or just being in the present moment, I would sit and intentionally ponder questions that I had. I would ponder my questions in silence without any distraction. And I find that when I do this, I'm able to have answers come to me unlike any other time, where, there's so many distractions, our phones, our computers, our televisions, and issues we have with other people, our families, things like that, where all of those things are great, but they keep us from actually sitting and listening to our own thoughts and our own intuition. So this form of lucid meditation that I practice is where my intuition can really be heard. So I found that was so helpful in my journey of enlightenment. And I feel like it's what led to my actually realizing certain truths about the universe and our existence and I would highly suggest trying that. I started pairing spirituality with logic and science, and that helped the truth become so much clearer to me because spirituality and science actually go together, believe it or not. Um, so it just depends on where you're looking. There's a lot of woo woo stuff out there, I admit. There's a lot of stuff in science too that we haven't gotten right yet, or we don't fully know the answers to yet. So it's all a balancing act. It's all about balance on either side. So along the way, I also realized things like near death experiences were something I was very fascinated in, and also reading about children who described their past lives and gave such accurate descriptions. And they actually studied these children. And as I looked more into near death experiences and the past lives of children, there was so much evidence of this phenomena of life after death that I knew that this, even though I wasn't religious anymore, I was still a very spiritual person because I knew there had to be something to that. And I actually made a TikTok about that the other day, about why I still believe in life after death, even though I'm not religious. So if you want to see my TikTok, I will put the link to my TikTok page below as well. I'm trying to post on there as frequently as possible because I am learning more about TikTok and I really like it. I also made peace along the way on my journey with the possibility of me being wrong about these things. Maybe there is no life after death. Maybe all this stuff that I'm into with crystals and tarot and stuff, maybe none of that does anything. Maybe it's all just fake. And I have made peace with that I could be wrong. And the truth of the matter is, yes, I do have plenty of reasons why I believe that these are real, and I try to back up my claims with science and logic. As you'll see on my YouTube channel, I have lots of videos where I bring science into this. But at the same time, if I am wrong, as long as I am enjoying myself, keeping myself mentally healthy, physically healthy, keeping my relationships healthy, and basically giving myself a full life, which I feel spirituality does do that for me, that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, if I don't live after I die, I'm not going to know. That's the beauty of it, is if we cease to exist after this life, well, that's sad, but we're not going to know, are we? We're not even going to be aware of it. We cease to exist. However, I have plenty of reasons that I mentioned in the TikTok I made about why I believe we still go on. So, I plan to make more videos in the future about enlightenment and how you can start your journey as well. And like I said, I go into great detail about it, about how you can start your enlightenment journey right now in my memberships videos. So if you guys have any other ideas for videos you want me to make in the future about spirituality, enlightenment, the dark night of the soul, having a spiritual awakening, opening your third eye, whatever that may be, just let me know because I am itching to make videos on these topics. I absolutely love it. So thank you for watching, you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.